any future housing developments or whenever they want to turn land over into whatever sort of development, that they try to consider first a Imperial County company first, unless otherwise it can't be reached. And if possible, to have that company or any company working on any project within Calexico have such a certain percentage of workers from Imperial County. Secondly, that any houses in the future that are built be really held to a higher standard, especially concerning energy, water, waste, and even use like green concepts of how to have housing elements in the streets laid out. Because in my opinion, Imperial County existence is a little arable, and we need to kind of think about how much emissions and other things we put into our local atmosphere here. Just ideas like that.
Thank you for your comment. Okay, so we'll get close to the public comments, public hearing, and so we only got some because they would go. Commissioner, we have response.
Well, kind of. I'm kind of surprised with the whole situation, and I really don't have any comments because my understanding the Planning Commission doesn't really have any authority to force the contractor. And I think what Mr. Oliver was mentioning is that maybe he can look at the specific plans and see when they're supposed to build that part. Other than that, the only comment I could have is that if you want to open, I don't know if it's within our preview, to have this item on the agenda and have the public discuss it more, and maybe you could make a presentation as to all these questions. But my understanding is once the developer files a map and goes along with it, we don't have any discretion if whoever says, hey, build a park. That, I think, is a legal matter between you and them. If they promised you that and haven't delivered, that would be a civil action. Now, I don't know that we would be getting involved with that. All we can do, the planning department can go in there and says, well, according to this, once they build so many houses, they promise to build a park. But once they get so many tenants or residents or people in those houses, then we build a park. But that's already done. So I don't know what Mr. Horton was saying, that could be explored and see if, if there's any other way to help the community. But that would be, aside from the planning commission, that would be almost going to the planning department and city council and working through the different agencies to try and get something resolved.
Ms. City Attorney, what's your comments to that respect?
As a result of the withdrawal of the applicant, there's now nothing before the Planning Commission. And as Oliver was saying, we now fall back to what are currently their requirements under the specific plan and whatever other permits they did receive. So I know that, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your last name. Marisa is your last name? Mrs. Dado has actually contacted the city attorney. And I am at some point scheduled to speak with Mr. Saddle in order to see what the city can do in order to get this development to where it was expected to be. So that is scheduled to happen. But as to having an item before the Planning Commission with the withdrawal of the application, there's nothing before the Planning Commission anymore.
It's been my understanding that all developers must put up a security bond to guarantee the completion of quality and that they comply with local city ordinances and planning. My question would be, have these people submitted a security bond for completion, the satisfactory completion of the project? And also, I've just been recently appointed on the Planning Commission, but I was on the Planning Commission when Maria Palmas originally submitted a plan, and we approved it. And one of the reasons we approved it is because their original submission was probably the most beautiful, complete, gated community, divided highway, all-line trees, a community center, a swimming pool, it was going to be the garden spot of Calexico.
That's what we want.
And now, it looks to me like they want to produce a little, a small little ghetto. We do have some discretion in this. These people, before they can come up to us and ask for a density concession, have got to receive our approval. If we do not approve it, they are not going to do it. And your planning commission has every right to deny this request. However, we can always be overruled by the city council, which has the final say in this particular problem. Very seldom do they overrule the planning commission, but it can be done and it has been done occasionally, not very often. So, for example, in all my years in the planning commission, the standard size lot in the city of Calexico was 6,000 square feet. There have been a couple sections in the city of Calexico where builders have asked for variances to build 4,500 square foot lots. And the planning commission in the past has denied that. We've been overridden by the city. And if you want to see one section where the builder also did not comply, go on Zapata Road, east of Zapata Road, and as you go and turn, see that first drainage ditch that is a swamp. That was supposed to be a community center because that was supposed to be a planned urban development, and the builders never did. But like Mr. Higuera says, we're not a enforcing body. We just approve plans. But the city does have code enforcement. And if you people insist, I'm sure that they'll go after them with all the body and soul.
Thank you, Mr. Stover. Chief?
If I may, real quick, there's two issues that I think that are really important. The first issue is that I think what's coming before the planning commission is the reduction of land having to do with the park.
Well, it's not anymore. They built up.
Okay, and which brings us to the second thing is, and I realize it's not within your purview to deal with this, but it's extremely important when these issues come before the planning commission, whether you have authority over them or not, and that is that we don't have any parks. We don't have sufficient parks. And it's extremely important. We're starting to see a lot of juvenile delinquents now as a result of not having enough parks. If you go north of Cole Road, it's wasteland and really nice houses, but there's no place for the kids to play. The same thing when you go south. We have one park in the whole area and it's not complete. What we're starting to see is a direct result of a major rise in juvenile delinquency, graffiti, using drugs, different things like that. And what it's doing is it's actually causing more of a problem by not having parks. And so it is within your rights, within your jurisdiction, and within your authority. I would appreciate it if you would make sure that, one, that obviously the park element is there, but then two is that we have some kind of binding agreement so that we do have some kind of leverage to be able to pull over these people to make sure that they do build the parks. Thank you.
Chief?
Thank you.
Mr. Martinez?
So what I've learned from this is next time we have a developer come before us and give us a presentation about all the homes and condos that they want to build, and if there's a park or recreation area included, I want to try to make it a condition that after maybe the second phase that they start building that park, start working on that park, so they don't build their 9-10 phases and wait towards the end to put a park together. So we'll take it as a learning experience, and hopefully next time there's a developer come before us, we're going to be strict on those conditions.
Would you ask our planning director if these people do have a security bond with the city of Calexico?
Can we find out?
Yeah, Commissioner, so I don't know what, again, as I mentioned, I don't know, I'm not familiar with all the conditions that of approval. As I mentioned before, this could have been a development that was a phased development. There's certain phases, and that's pretty typical. So